two-stroke Temple 4-stroke edition. So we're working on the DAX with the 212 engine in it. It's a Yongshen, and the wiring was a hot mess on this. Hopefully I'll put a video together and that'll be the beginning of it, but let's just get into where we ended up with this. So still a lot of wires. I mean, we've got a starter relay, we've got a CDI, we have a voltage regulator, rectifier, and then we have Starbucks. Well, we have more grounds than Starbucks, which is crazy, and I would love to hear your feedback on this hot mess. But I mixed a little moped magic right there. If you know about these little blocks, they're great. And then everything else got labeled. So if anything plugs into anything, it's gonna have matching wire, and then I have a little chart here that tells me what each wire is. That'll obviously go with the bike, because this bike will surely outlive my old ass. So one of the things I found about this 212 engine, I ended up buying a replacement starter or stator and flywheel kit for it from T-Bolt USA. And see, I've got these huge LED lights. They're pretty massive. They draw a lot of power too. And what I'm finding with this setup, and it was even with the old stator that came with the Yongshen, even the upgraded one only puts out really a weak ass amount of AC voltage. I think it was around 70 maybe peak, if I have that correct. I could be wrong, but ultimately what happens is you only end up with about 8 or 9 DC volts after you run it through the regulator rectifier. And I made sure I had the right one, halfway, full wave, whatever the right one was. Initially, T-Bolt USA tech support was telling me that I needed to ground one of the yellow wires, because there are 2 yellow wires that come off of the stator and they both produce the same amount of voltage. So they said to ground one of them and the other one should produce voltage, but it doesn't. And if you ground either of those, you get no voltage. So I'm just using one side of it, and what I'm doing is I'm running it into my regulator. So my yellow wire is running into that, and then, you know, my red one comes out, but then I put a capacitor in line. So I've got this capacitor, and I'll put a link in the description to that little capacitor. But when I was testing putting that in line with the DC side, oh my God, the lights got twice as bright. It was really amazing how bright they got. So I'm just running the lights off of the stator directly, and I've got a LED tail light for this thing. Let me show you this real quick. Yeah, so I've got that tail light, and man, I'll have a video here added to this that will basically show you the bike running and the brightness of these lights. But the problem was I went on a ride before I rewired out all of this, and the battery was still in line with the DC output of that regulator. And since it's putting out less than 12 volts, it drained my battery on a long ride. And we just can't have kickstarting a 212cc hot engine with an old ass 54-year-old foot. It's just not a good idea. I did not enjoy it. So another thing that I recently did was I bought a $140 battery that weighs nothing. It is the smallest, lightest little lithium ion battery. I got it from Bart Moto, and this thing, I have accidentally shorted shit out and it like explodes wires. It is so powerful, and it cranks this 212 engine over like it's nothing. So the plan, as it is right now, is that we're gonna just run that battery to the starter and the starter button, and it's not gonna be in line with the lights at all. So it can't get any draw, so it should only use power when I have to start it. Well, I've probably started this bike 50 times since doing all this wiring and testing, and I have yet to charge the battery, and it's still starting the bike. So if it can start the bike 50 times here on my bench, I think in one day I probably wouldn't start it 50 times. So we're gonna put it all back together and finish this dude off. And then this is kind of cool. This came with it, a little charger light, not a charger light, but it tells you what your battery voltage is. So if you tap it, it'll come on. Once I hook it all up, I'll show you that. So my plan is to just charge the battery between rides and just make sure I'm fully charged before I go on a a ride. I mean, I'm not going to ride 600 miles like Mini Bike Mike. I'm not insane, or 3,800 miles, but I might do 100. We'll see.